All right, folks, we are here. It is Coach Mo Live, and I am with a friend of mine and my own personal stylist, Elysha Lenkin. Hello, Elysha. How are
Hello.
you today?
I'm very good. So excited to be here with you today, Mo.
Yeah, thanks. Likewise. I think I need to put a little bit of extra light on here. There we go.
There's the light.
There we go. It was looking a little dark. I don't have the sun that I'm used to having coming streaming in here in South Florida today. It's a little bit of a cloudier day. And Elysha and I met each other 2 years ago. A
It
little
was
bit longer, three.
it was a little over 2 years ago.
Okay. And how we met is that one of my wonderful kick-ass grads had reached out to you, Elysha, for her to spruce up her wardrobe. She's an attorney and she wanted to feel as kick-ass on the outside as she was feeling on the inside, and you helped her out a great deal. And then you reached out to me and said, hey, I just helped one of your grads and I'd love to connect. And I said, you know what, I'd love to get to work with you on a stylist because I had clothing insecurities. And part of it was exasperated by growing up as a Catholic young girl and having to wear uniforms my entire childhood. And so therefore I was slightly handicapped in how to put together good pieces. And as you know, I had middle-age weight issues that were causing me to want to hide my body a little bit, and all sorts of things that a lot of women have in their psyche when it comes to clothes. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself in a second, Elysha, but I just want to shout out to all the ladies who are here and or joining us in this Facebook Live. If you're live with us, we would love to have you ask Elysha a question. We're going to talk about primarily two things, Elysha, today. How to dress for the job or the role that you want versus maybe where your comfort zone is. And also some tips on dressing for interviews in certain industries. Now, granted, we're not going to talk about all industries or all potential interviews, but we just want to talk about a few things. And then I also want to give you an extra big bonus because Elysha has a special program that she is starting and she's going to tell us all about it. But I wanted everyone here in my Facebook community to really get to know you, Elysha, and to get some tips as we are rounding into, if you're catching this live, the season of spring. And perhaps people are ready to sort of dust things off. Perhaps you've already done your closet cleaning, but there are some things to really consider to do this work from home or mostly remote work thing even to the next level, especially now that we've learned some things from doing it for a while. So Elysha, please feel free to tell us a little bit about yourself. And we also do have client questions that came through from our grads, and I want to run those by you. So let's dive right in.
Yeah. So my name is Elysha Lenkin, and I have been a fashion stylist. I got my start way back in the mid-90s. So I have been doing this for a long time. I've been in the business of making women look incredible for a really long time. And I got my start working on commercial shoots. I was working with celebrities like Tina Fey, Carrie Underwood, Serena Williams, and for magazines like the Oprah magazine and Working Mother, and also for big brands like MTV and Verizon and Microsoft. So I have been around the block. I have styled hundreds of women and help them feel really confident in their clothes. Now, about a couple of years ago, I started a private client business. So I started working with professional women in a one-on-one capacity. And the reason that I started doing that was because clothing and style is something that has always come very natural to me, and it's always been very easy, and it's always been very fun, and it really helps me tap into my creativity.
Right.
And when I started working with everyday professional women, I started seeing that everybody wasn't feeling this way at all. In fact, most of them were struggling, like similar to what you were saying earlier. In a lot of it had to do with their bodies. And these successful women, so women who are competent and successful in every area in their lives, and then they'd be starting their day from this place of like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, or feeling inadequate, or feeling frustrated that their body's not looking how they want it to look in clothing. So when this kept coming up and I kept starting to see this more and more, I said, you know what? This is who I'm going to serve, because I want to show these women how it can feel fun, how they can tap into their creativity. Even if you don't think that you're a creative person, everybody is creative. And when you tap into that energy, it just elevates you. And when you start your day from this elevated energy, you're going to have a much better day than if you're starting from frustration. So that's what I do now, is I work with everyday professional women, and I help them feel incredible in their clothes, just like I did on the shoots with all the celebrities and for the magazines. Everyday professional women deserve to feel like their own superstars. And that is what I love doing so much. And I loved working with you, Mo, specifically. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Elysha. I had so many aha moments when you and I were working together. And I will say, if you're listening and you're a kick-ass grad, or if you're currently in the workshop, Elysha has a wardrobe tips and style guide in our workshop. And we developed that a little bit ago based on the work you did with me and the work you do with your professional women. If you want to do more, know more, or have Elysha help you, we're going to share with you a link and a special code that you get for tuning in and being part of my lovely audience. Before we dive into that, Elysha, one of the things that you helped me sort out is this sense of always feeling awkward with the clothes I was wearing. Now, to be honest, it was worse when I was outward facing, busy executive in the office, traveling, being at client sites, etc. But when I started working from home, which was a lot earlier than a lot of women have been since 2014, I fell into this drabness, and I never really wanted to wear like sweatpants to work, because I felt a certain professionalism needed to pervade not only how I feel about myself, but also how I wanted to just resonate in the world. I didn't want to be schleppy. I didn't want to be, I just didn't want to be in that zone. And I know that through the pandemic and that sort of thing, a lot of women have gotten a taste of what it's like to work from home, and the busyness that can be different than being busy going in and out of the office. Let's kind of tackle one of the questions from our gals, because overall, here's, general question. How do you make fashion work with Zoom backgrounds? We talked about Zoom backgrounds before. Let's talk a little bit about that, and then we'll just kind of pop into some of the questions. But overall, we're going to be hitting the high points of, ladies who are listening, high points of upgrading your sense of style for who you want to be, maybe not where you are today, and being able to present yourself in a massively professional way and not letting this work from home business run your show. So, Elysha, you want to tackle some of that first before we answer this question from my client, Kim W., or take it away?
Yeah. So here's what I want to say about showing up and presenting for your next role. You've got to do things differently than you're doing them right now. Okay. So if you want to be a different person, if you want to show up looking and feeling different, it's time to switch up what you've been doing. This means switch up the way you've been thinking about yourself. This means switching up the way you are presenting. And this comes down to the clothes that you've been wearing. I meet so many women who feel stuck and frustrated, and they're wearing the same things all the time, and they don't like it. yet they continue to do it. And I understand that you may not know what to do differently. That is the reason that so many women get stuck, is because they think, I don't like this blouse and I don't like these pants, but they fit and I don't know what else to wear. Okay. So I understand if you may have confusion. If this is the case, just know that there are fresh and new possibilities available for you. And I know this because I've styled hundreds of women, all sizes, all shapes, all ages, right? And they all look amazing, right? So it is possible for you to look and feel confident in your clothes. You may just need some new options. And if you want to step into your next role and show up looking like and feeling like that woman, then you're going to have to change up the way you've been doing things before. That is so important. I think who said that? You can't expect different results when you're doing the same thing.
And you know what, Elysha, before we dive into the wardrobe solution, I want to talk about a few things around that, because one of the things we have to really acknowledge is that how we feel about our body and how we feel in our clothes resonates with how we feel. And a lot of people might want to sort of ignore that and say, well, if I just feel awesome, doesn't matter what I wear. And that's simply not true. We are tactile, visual people. So if the clothes you wear, like I'm wearing a really nice silk blouse, and I got to tell you what, I'm like loving the feel of it on my body. And I love wearing silk blouses. I love, this is more of a bit of a thicker version. I actually think we might have purchased this in our wardrobe upgrade that we did together. It's a simple look, but it makes me feel professional and put together. And so talk about, because I know one of the reasons why you and I resonate so well together is because you're into yoga and you sort of get this energetic world as well. We're not just talking about putting clothes on a robot here. So talk about how clothes really can enhance our sense of well-being and our resonating in our true power.
Yeah. So your clothes are going to reflect how you feel. So when you start your day and you're feeling schlumpy, schleppy, and you just kind of throw on your whatever, the same thing you've been wearing, this is what you're literally putting on your body, that energy. And then when you go on your calls and you meet other people, that's the energy that you're putting out there. And it is the universal principle that what you put out is what you're going to get back in. Okay. I recommend being more intentional with the way you want to feel in your clothes. What does it feel like to be the woman who is already in the next role? And then choose your clothes from this place. You're using your clothes to help you get to that feeling, because a silk blouse, a beautiful silk blouse, just may help you get to that feeling even more, right? So you can use your clothes. It's like a fast pass to get to that feeling. If your clothes feel elevated or elegant or beautiful, put them on and you're going to show up and you're going to look and feel different.
Right. Why do we resist wearing nicer clothes?
Well, for many reasons, is that it can feel uncomfortable, first and foremost. It feels a lot more comfortable and a lot safer. Like you don't have to worry if you're going to spill it or if you're going to ruin it, right? It feels a lot safer to just wear your same old thing. So it's something different, right? And a lot of women, I see this a lot when it comes to nicer clothes. They don't feel like they deserve it. They think that it's superficial, that, oh, I can't imagine spending money on that. But it's about investing in yourself and how you want to feel. So a lot of women don't make that connection, and they see the clothing as something that's superficial or disconnected even. It might seem shallow to spend your time shopping, but I suggest a different approach when it comes to your style and your clothing. I suggest that you look at it as a form of self-care, as self-love. In fact, I have clients that tell me that their biggest self-care act is working with me, because it is showing them that they are worth it. They deserve this focused attention. They deserve to elevate how they look and feel, and they deserve to wear the nice clothes if they make them look and feel how they want to, right? It's about setting the intention. How do I want to feel? And then selecting your clothes that will help you achieve that feeling.
Right. And there can't be a gap between what you want a piece of clothing to feel like and what it really does. Because that was one of the distinctions you helped me with. I had some nice clothes in my closet, but I didn't either like the color, like the way it really fit on me. I just didn't like it, but it was like bought with the intention that it was going to look better than it did or feel better than it did. And I had to basically get over that. So as you're thinking about the clothes that not only you want to wear and you want to upgrade your sense of style, but it has to be in alignment with how you feel about it. Like it can't, this big gap between, well, I wanted this shirt to look good on me, or I spent a lot of money on it, so it should. And those are some unfortunate things we have to sort of move through, don't we?
Yeah,
Getting clear on our wardrobe.
Yeah. And first of all, the things, the nice pieces that you may have bought a few years ago, they may have served you really well a few years ago. And we shift and we change as people. Therefore, our styles shift and change. So I know that looking back at some of the pieces that I bought a few years ago, they don't resonate with me anymore. So that's very normal. It's also normal for your body to shift and change as well. So they may not fit the same. So that's very normal to have bought something that you thought was going to help you feel a certain way. And maybe it did, and it served its purpose, and it's time to move on. And then, sometimes we do make mistakes. That happens. That's a part of it. When we're stepping into something new, it can happen.
Right. So let's tackle Kim W.'s question. How do we make fashion work with Zoom backgrounds?
Okay. So I have a very strong opinion about Zoom virtual backgrounds. Okay. I don't think that they make you look professional. I would much rather see if your home or wherever you are is cluttered and messy, and that's a different call that we'll talk about. I would rather see you go against a blank wall, a real wall, as opposed to putting up one of those Zoom backgrounds, because I don't think people can take you seriously when you're on a Zoom background. So I'll put you virtual backgrounds if I'm meeting with my family, and I'll put up family photos and it's fun. But if you're doing this for your professional, for your career, then my suggestion is do not use the Zoom backgrounds, because every time you move, it gets fuzzy and distorted, and that's not professional to have that going on. So my recommendation is I would rather see you clean up a space in your home, and I would rather it be a blank wall, to be honest, than a Zoom background, and then just bring yourself closer so that you're more of the focus anyway, which is what you want them to be focusing on. You don't want them to be looking at the weird distortion in your hair because you're moving in your Zoom background or a virtual background. So using a regular background, it's really important that it is clean and it is professional, and you want it to also show people a little bit about who you are. Okay. So for example, I've got my beautiful floral wallpaper in the background because I love florals. I'm also in a very creative field. So if you're in a creative field, then that's going to give you a little bit more liberties to show more of your personality. Now, some of my clients are not in creative fields, and we've worked together to set them up with a very clean and professional background, like what Mo has, right? And it doesn't take a lot to do that, right? It just takes a good eye to recognize how things can be balanced, right? Because you want it to feel balanced. You don't want a plant sticking out of your head. So just think of the word. Well, your head actually covers it.
I know.
So
when I put the light on, it looks kind of funny. But at night, when it's darker in my office, I turn it on, but it looks okay.
Yeah. So just looking, I've worked with many of my clients. I have one client, she's an attorney, and she was doing a hearing, and she was in her office, and we were working together, and she was like moving books around and just getting it right, because you don't want to have to think about that at all. Right. You don't want to have to think about your clothes. You don't want to have to think about your background. That stuff needs to get taken care of. And as far as your wardrobe, you want to wear colors that are complementary. for your skin, hair, and eyes so that you look brighter and more vibrant. And you want to keep it very clean and simple. I know we're going to talk more about specific industries, so I'll just leave it at that. Keep your patterns simple. You want them to focus on you. Keep your accessories. You want to be the focal point. You don't want your earrings to be the conversation starter, right? It's all to enhance you and to highlight your face and to make you look more vibrant.
Yes. Awesome. So here's a second question, Elysha, which I think is something that a lot of women start getting concerned about. How do we develop our own style without buying new clothes every year? And again, maybe with this answer, we can maybe hit a couple of key career areas, professional areas. But go ahead and answer this first, and then we'll sort of hit a couple of key career areas.
So as I was saying earlier, that your style is going to shift and change through the years. That's very normal. Taking time to get very clear and intentional about what your personal style, what you want it to look like now is so helpful. It is an investment in your future, because when you take the time and energy to really think about how you want to look and feel, then you build your wardrobe based around that feeling. And then you don't need to update every year. You want to check in and make sure that it's still aligned, as we spoke about. But at that point, you want to just get really creative and inventive with putting together fresh outfits from the clothes that you already have. In fact, this is my favorite thing to do with my clients. This is my favorite thing. This is my superpower, is looking at people's wardrobes and putting things together. And they always say, I never thought to do it like that. So getting creative with what you already have, it is possible. It is even fun. And that is going to keep you from having to buy new clothes every year.
Right. You know, the creativity that you bring to the table is, like you said earlier, not something that all of us professional women have. Now, I'm creative in a lot of ways. I am not creative in clothes or in dressing myself. But some of the distinctions that you help me draw in the pieces that I tend to want to wear or tend to like choosing make sense for who I am. And you helped me figure that out also, which gave me great distinctions on why certain clothes felt sort of drab and boring to me. And I couldn't really get it. I couldn't really understand why something that I see lots of people wear just wasn't, it didn't bring me happiness or feel right on me. And one of the things, we're going to talk about this in another question. So actually, I'm going to leave that thought there. One of the things that I think women need to understand and appreciate for themselves in today's day and age too is, Elysha, they have to sort of look like they belong to that particular tribe. So let's talk about, if you're in finance, what should our ladies be thinking about in the world of finance?
Right. I love this idea of the tribe, because that is just belonging to the tribe, because that is such a basic need that all humans have. And this is what brings up, so this question of what's appropriate is something that, so when I started working with private clients, that was something that I started to hear all the time. Is this appropriate? Is that appropriate? And I really thought long and hard about it. And I discovered that that's about wanting to belong in the tribe, right? So when you're discerning if something is appropriate for you or not, it really comes down to your comfort level and how comfortable can you feel in your clothes.
Right.
Now, for the women who work in finance, it's really important that you want to be aware of the company culture. Obviously, working from home, it has gotten a lot more casual. I have several clients who are in finance, and their wardrobes are clean, professional, polished. They wear their accessories. Lots of blazers and shells is what they're wearing right now. Accessories are really important. You want your accessories to show personality. You don't want them to be the conversation starter for, if you're in finance. Again, you want them to highlight who you are, but just keeping it really clean and polished and professional.
Awesome. How about in tech?
Tech is, well, that is definitely going to be more of a casual feel. So again, it's imperative that you are informed about the company culture that you're looking to interview with, or that you're involved with. It's really crucial. If you want to feel like you belong, you want to know what is the environment that is going on here, right? It's like if you were going to go to a formal event, you want to know, is this a black tie? Is it cocktail? You want to just know the parameters that you're working with. So understanding your culture is really important. If you are in the tech industry, then that is going to give you a lot more liberties. Again, comfort is going to be most important. As with any field that you're in, you need to feel comfortable in your clothes. So that means you may need to make some adjustments. For example, if you're working from home, your blazer, I'd mentioned in finance, your blazer, you might move into softer fabric blazers. Silks or knits or cottons are great ideas. If you're in tech, then you want to show more of your personality. And so this would be more of you could wear more of your regular weekend wear that you would wear every day. Just bring it in. Again, it's about having that confidence. That is key, that you are in the right place. So your everyday wear is going to be appropriate for that. But keep in mind, if you're doing work from home, you want to keep in mind the video calls, the frames, what is showing. You don't want it to get too busy. You don't want to have too many prints. You don't want anything that's overpowering, but showing your personality is going to be a great idea. And if your weekend wear is really loungy, then I would say let's think more of if you were going to go out to lunch with your friends, something a little bit more casual like that. You still want to step it up and show everyone who you are, but you want to feel comfortable and more relaxed in your clothing. Tech is a more casual industry for sure.
Yeah. No hoodies though, please, ladies.
Yeah.
I don't care what your age is.
Yeah. Although I will say the pullover hoodie with a blazer on top and a necklace, not so bad.
I'm not rocking a hoodie. It's one of those things, I don't know if it's an age thing, but it's just one of those pieces of clothing that I'm like, does that really resonate with I work for a living here? Like being on, like, hey, go wear it, go for a walk, etc. But to me, there's just some clothes that are more I'm at work type of clothes. And granted, we're fast, we're moving rapidly, whatever, into more of a casual atmosphere. I remember when my brother, who's in finance, first started wearing khakis to work and stopped wearing suits. Certainly over the last 20 plus years, we've been moving more into more of a dress casual work environment. I think the work from home has given us that little other dose of permission to maybe show our personality, or maybe our lack of interest in showing up with the right dress on. And I don't mean dress as in a dress, but I mean wardrobe. So how about, someone asked a question about learning and development, and she's also in government. But let's talk a little bit about if you're in sort of the consulting, government, education-y, because I would kind of lump all of that sort of together into much more of a structured environment. Those areas tend to be a little bit more regulated. And so therefore the culture is going to be a little bit more buttoned up, shall we say. What are some tips and ideas for those types of environments?
Yeah, so for that type of environment, it's going to be really important that you're putting together a complete outfit. So you want to make sure that you're just not wearing the blouse, but you want to go ahead and put on that third piece. It doesn't have to be the blazer. I love cardigans, and there's all sorts of options when you're looking at third pieces, but you really want to make sure that your outfit feels complete. So you're going to want to add in that third piece, and of course, add in your accessories that are highlighting your personality and showing people who you are, but you want to keep it really clean and simple. And you want to choose all your colors and all your fabrics, things that are going to be complementary for your body. You want to, again, you want to feel comfortable. If you're not comfortable and you're focusing on something that's wrong with your outfit, that is taking you out of the game of where you need to be, right? So you want to be comfortable, but you want to choose the pieces that are going to help you feel more elevated. And I definitely recommend wearing complete outfits in this environment. So that means making sure you have on a third piece.
Yeah. And when you and I were working together, this was something that was a real distinction for me. Again, kind of being raised in the Catholic wear uniform type of thing, I didn't always really have that next piece on, and maybe I could be, dressing a little bit simply or a little bit more plain. And you really helped me understand that aspect of it. So I would say this, Elysha, even on Zoom, we should be paying attention to that.
Yes. Even on Zoom. Are you talking about the third piece?
Uh-huh.
In
Yeah.
that environment, yes,
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a pretty blouse with a cardigan over. Yes,
Mhm.
it's going to feel more complete. I do.
Okay. Yep. Awesome. We didn't talk about the tops and the bottoms. That's another question. But before we get there, I want to talk about are there any colors or patterns that are no-nos?
Yes. Okay, let's just get this out there for videos, just for Zoom. If you wear stripes that are really tight, like meaning that they're really close together, there's a
Mhm.
chance you're going to get a moire effect, which is something you may notice on TV
Mhm.
so when I would do shoots, when I would do commercials specifically for TV,
Yeah.
men's ties were just such a nightmare for me because of the
Uh-huh.
patterns on the ties. Sometimes they make the camera, it buzzes. So
Yeah.
that's a distraction. So
Yeah.
you don't want that at all. So if
Right.
you're going to wear patterns, I actually do love soft, subtle patterns that are very spaced out, meaning there's a lot of solid color in between the patterns. So maybe like a tiny little floral print or something soft, if that's going to show more of your personality, if that resonates
Right.
with you. But you definitely do not want to do the stripes on the video. Now, in person or in video in general, you want to just wear the colors that are most complementary to your skin tone. Okay. I can't say that enough. So for example, like the color I'm wearing right now, this is a good color for me, right? So this is a color that I like to wear because I look good in this shade of red, right? So you want to get very clear. You can wear pretty much all the colors, but there's just different tones that work based on your skin tone. So you want to get clear on what those are and then wear those colors because those are, again, going to make you look more healthy and more vibrant, and they're going to draw more attention to your face, or you want people to pay attention.
Right. Are there any other things that are no-nos that our ladies should be thinking of, either for interviews or just to be on Zoom working in that environment?
Yeah, wearing just a plain white shirt, I would not recommend doing that. Just
Okay.
if you're going to do white as a underpinning and you're going to put
Mhm.
something over, that's fine. I would not recommend wearing just a plain white button up top, and that's that.
Okay. Gotcha. Someone asked in the comments here, Alicia, some clarification on the third piece. You want to just roll through that again, and then we'll go to our next question.
Yeah, so the third piece is going to be a layering piece. So a blazer is the first one that would come to mind when you think about professional wear. I love blazers. I understand that if you're working from home, that might feel a little bit stiff or rigid. So my suggestion would be to find blazers that are in softer fabrics. Moving into spring and summer, these are going to feel a little bit more comfortable anyways, just because they're lighter. So you can get blazers in knits, cottons, silk. Silk blazers can be beautiful. So any type of layering piece, so blazers, or you could do cardigans, right? Any type of jacket or thin, you can have it be a thin piece that you're going to put on, and that's really going to complete your outfit. That's going to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
As far as looking complete and feeling really polished and pulled together.
Right. So with that being said, Lisa L asks, is there any difference between dressing fully professionally and the equivalent of a clothing mullet, which she describes as business on top, party on the bottom? And I don't know that Lisa really meant party on the bottom, or if she meant really like comfy and relaxed. So let's talk about dressing halfway versus full.
I'm all about putting on a full outfit because if you're putting on your schleppy sweats, like the ones that you wear at the end of your day, right? When you go to work and then you come home and you're just like, I got to take this all off, and you put on your schleppy sweats.
Yeah.
That's not the energy that you want to show up for your
Right.
clients and for your business, right? That's a different energy. That's the, I'm relaxing. I'm kind of winding down now.
Mhm.
You're not winding down when you're showing up for your clients and for your career calls, right? So
Right.
there's an energy that your clothing gives when you put it on. And everybody here knows that feeling. So, when your hair looks really good, you have a really great hair day, and you're like, my hair looks so good. I am ready to get out there and go do my thing. Well, it's the same way with your clothes. And I think everyone knows that feeling. You put something on and you're like, yeah, I'm feeling myself now. I know I look good and I'm ready. So why would you rob yourself of that opportunity, right? Why would you take that chance that you can elevate how you're feeling about yourself? I even recommend giving yourself a little bit of extra time. If you're going on an important meeting, give yourself a little bit of extra time to really absorb that feeling and really get into it, so that when you show up on your call, you're just exuding that presence that you want to have. So yes to the full outfit, 100%. It changes your energy. There's no question about it.
Right, right. And every single day for the past 7 years, I've had a choice as to how to wear a clothing appropriate for being remote. Sometimes I'm not on camera. Sometimes I spend a day not on camera. But I've always chosen to dress reasonably professionally. Now, sometimes, and I live in Florida, it's shorts. Would I have ever worn shorts to the office? No. But I'm wearing professional looking shorts. I'm putting an outfit together. I am, getting myself organized and dressed for the day. And I really, really do agree with you, Elysha. We have to emphasize the fact that our psyche, our subconscious, knows if we're in a disconnect with our clothes or not. So I don't want to take the chance that I'm going to feel a little off with the fact that I've got, a nice blouse and sweatpants. Now I've got nice sort of dressy, casual black slacks on. And I'm in a complete outfit. I would feel weird if I was kind of faking it on the bottom. And you know what? I know there's been a lot of pictures of people on, different social media with, blazer, shirt, and shorts and slippers. Look, I get it. That's really funny. To me, it's a disconnect for how you want to show up. And you're like pretending. And I'm sure that there's a legacy of TV announcers and that sort of thing who did this, long before we were all on Zoom, because that was their life, kind of in front of the camera. But I do want to emphasize what Elysha is saying, because being in integrity with who you are and how you're showing up is super important for your soul to really be as powerful as you want it to be. Someone asked a question, Elysha, about if you make more money, should you be more conservative in your dress? Or if you're responsible, I think she said if you're responsible for more money. So I guess the question is, if you're more responsible, if you have a higher level role, should you be dressing more conservatively as a rule?
I don't see your income and dressing conservative as going hand in hand. I don't think those are the two. I don't think you look at your income level as the deciding factor, because I know many millionaires who are not dressing conservatively. So this would come back down to the industry that you're working in, as well as your personality, who you are, and how you want to show up. So no, making more money does not mean you start dressing more conservatively.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think the bottom line is, what we are emphasizing here is you to decide who you are, what your industry tribe wardrobe norm would be, and making sure that you're dressed the best you can for showing up in that role, or the role that you want. Or if you want to pay attention to what the bosses are wearing, maybe there's clues there, but caution, your bosses may be doing wardrobe faux pas that I wouldn't necessarily want you to repeat. Or if you go bossy, they may be wearing clothes that they're like, devil may care because I'm the boss. Okay. So don't necessarily replicate that. Be your best, truest, highest version of you. Now, Elysha, before we keep going or run out of time here, let's talk about this special program that you're going to be launching, and how our gals could get more of you and get really into upgrading their wardrobe and really starting to get more aligned with their clothes choices, etc. What are you offering soon, and tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I am so excited about this, Mo. This is my brand new group styling program, and it is called 90-Day Style Refresh. So it is a
Nice.
reboot for spring. Okay. So we are going to focus on rediscovering yourself, actually, because a lot of times we lose touch with who we are, what we like, and how we want to look. So you're going to get very clear about who you are and how you want to show up.
Yeah.
We are going to realign our wardrobes so that we're not still reaching for things that just don't make sense for where we're going in our lives. And we're going to recreate our styles so that we have the wardrobe, so that it's an inspired wardrobe that's going to give us the confidence for being at our next level. So this is perfect for anybody who is feeling like maybe just a little bit confused about what to wear, what looks good on them. This is for anybody who just needs a refresh, right? We're moving into spring. This is a new season. It is perfectly aligned with nature. Spring is the time for rebirth, and this program is going to energize you, and it is going to boost your confidence from the inside and then out. And you're going to create an inspired wardrobe that you love and makes you look really professional and polished and put together, all based on who you are, how you want to look. And then, of course, based on whatever industry that you're working in, we're going to tweak it for each person. So I'm keeping the group super small so that I give lots of personal attention to everyone. Yeah. And I am just so excited to do these 90 days with this group of women. It's going to be community, accountability, support, lots of styling guidance from me. This is my main focus. So I'm going to be sprinkling my stylish spirit along everybody so that they can progress and to encourage their own personal styles.
Awesome. And that's Elysha, ElyshaLenkin.com/90-day-style-refresh. And the link is below, folks. Elysha Lenkin is Elysha. And then her last name is Lenkin, LENKIN.com for finding more. And feel free to use the code CoachMo, all lowercase, to get your $100 off Alysha's wonderful, wonderful program. Now, I got to tell you, Elysha, we worked extensively together one-on-one, and we dove into my closet. I went through and got rid of a lot of pieces that didn't work for me anymore. And then I refreshed with some easy, comfortable pieces that fit the role I have today and how I want to show up, which included some really cool, awesome pieces like this blouse that I'm looking at that are not like this, oh my God, piece of clothing, or weren't super expensive. And you actually asked me what my price range was for that. So a piece that you can build a wardrobe around, or a piece that you can add that's going to just give you that comfort level. One more question before we wrap up here, Elysha. Heather P asks, how do we avoid repeating too much of the same, developing go-to combos out of the capsule and not maximizing its flexibility? How about maximizing our capsule's flexibility?
Yeah. So the approach that I like to take is to create specific outfit formulas, so that, an outfit formula could be, like your blazer and your blouse and your shorts, right? Maybe if that's going to be a formula for you, right? So create specific outfit formulas, and then you just shop to fill in those specific formulas. And then that's the capsule that you have. So instead of thinking about that everything is going to go with everything, come up with some specific formulas that work for you. Like maybe it's a dress with a cardigan, right? You come up with your specific outfit formulas, and then it's just plug and play from there with the garments for each formula.
Yeah. And you helped me get really comfortable with that approach. Plus, I thought I had to have like pieces that were more feminine, or pieces that were going to be like the clothes I was supposed to have. And once I moved through that and started having my own style, my own sensibility, and getting really comfortable with that, I was able then to manage my wardrobe the way that you're talking about. But in the past, before we worked together, I was doing a lot of my clothes buying on supposed tos. And I think a lot of women probably do that. thinking that they're supposed to wear something like this or something more feminine or something more frilly, or they're supposed to wear this ultra conservative thing that doesn't match who they are. There is an amazing opportunity to work with Elysha directly to really zero in on that style that fits not only you but also your industry and who you want to be in the world professionally. And frankly, Elysha, you helped me with, as you know, my personal wardrobe as well, because I was famously the person who went out to dinner with like my in-laws, for instance, and said, I have nothing to wear. It's either all work or play. And so my wardrobe was stuck there as well. So I'm looking forward to some of our gals getting really into enhancing their wardrobe, feeling better about themselves from a clothing perspective, and really being able to rock their world in the Zoom world, work from home, or in the office. My sister is returning to the office today for the first time in 1 year. And so she's like, ah. So there may be some folks who would be moving back into office settings that they've been out of for a while. And ladies, your wardrobe may indeed need that 90-day spring refresh to just give yourself the opportunity to move away from maybe some of the drab or boring, or maybe you got lazy with your clothes through the pandemic, into more of a style refresh for yourself. It's worth it. It's absolutely a game changer when you get comfortable with how to manage your wardrobe and how to look good for you and not be thinking you have to be all things to all people all over the place. So Elysha, thank you very much for joining us. And it's ElyshaLenkin.com/90-day-style-refresh. Use code Coach Mo. But Elysha, I'm sure that on your website, there's a link for them to get the 90-day style refresh. And that's ElyshaLenkin.com.
Absolutely. It's in the Work With Me tab.
Beautiful, beautiful. Any last thoughts and ideas before we wrap up today, Elysha, that you'd like to leave with these ladies who are here today?
Yes. It's exactly, I just want to highlight exactly what you said. Once you know what your style is, once you are clear about how you want to look, how you want to feel, how you want to show up, that just makes it all so much easier, right? That is going to eliminate a lot of the choices. And, you know, the work that I do with women is we also get clear on their colors and their body shape. Once you know what you're looking for, then you don't even see all that other, it's just clutter, really. So it might be in your closet, and then when you're shopping in the stores, you're just a lot more focused, and it makes it all so much more easier and fun. It can be fun.
Oh my God, that's the key word, because finding clothes and putting things together to me was never fun. And now I'm like in my zone. And I understand how to dress for myself, and I don't judge myself every darn morning like I was doing. I was literally judging myself every morning that I didn't have either the right clothes, the best clothes, or I was just insecure about it. I mean, look, I'm a very secure person in many aspects, but I was super insecure about not only what I was wearing and the outfits I was putting together, but the money I was spending on my wardrobe. I was insecure about that as well. And Elysha is going to get you squared up with any of that. So go to Elysha Lenkin's website and click on Work With Me. And please do use the code Coach Mo to get yourself $100 off her spring refresh. Elysha, I always love talking with you because it brings me back to the transformation that I had when we worked together.
Yeah.
And I was feeling really sort of dopey about my clothes. And you really brought me into a heightened sense of confidence, security about myself with my clothes. And I just feel I know how to navigate that world so much more confidently and more in line with who I am and how I want to be seen in the world. So thank you so much. Ladies, don't miss the opportunity to work with Elysha and her 90-day refresh. It's time to get things rocking and rolling. Our new world is emerging. So there's no waiting around for the next whatever. Put your stake in the ground and say, my life is going to get better from today. Elysha, thank you so much. Folks, this is Coach Mo, mofall.com, your kick-ass career coach, here with Elysha Lenkin. Elysha, thanks again, and have a really, really great spring yourself. And I wish you all the best in styling all of the ladies who will be with you for your spring style.